everyone. My name is Ann Sokol, and my husband Vitaly and I are missionaries in Ukraine. And we are in the process of fundraising. We need to raise more monthly support. And one thing I am trying to do is just opening my heart and my life to you to help you get to know us more, just as people and as people who live in a foreign country that we love. Vitaly lives in his home country, but to me it's foreign. And also, if you are already a supporter, I want you to be able also to have more contact with me in a more personal way. And I want to thank you so much for supporting us. And I would like to say that if you are interested in supporting us monthly, I will try to put in a link where you can go to read about us more and watch videos, listen to Vitaly's testimony, see some things about our ministry and who we are. Thank you. And I wanted to start these videos. Today I'm going to be talking about, I wanted to share one thing about Ukrainian culture and one way that God has blessed me. My blessing is going to be talking about studying hospitality. And first I want to tell you about my Ukrainian thing, and I've been wanting for a couple days now to make vareniki. So today I made vareniki, and I kind of left it in stages so I can show you a little bit about how it's done. And once the war started here, I really wanted to start making Ukrainian food. It was kind of how I expressed my Ukrainian patriotism, so I practiced a lot. And so this is what I've done today. Let me pause this and I'll take you there. There are meal vareniki and dessert vareniki that have fruit inside of them. And I'm making just potato vareniki. You can make potatoes and mushrooms. I made potatoes and onions. And I made the inside just in our pressure cooker. I did some potatoes with some bouillon and the cut up onions and some butter. And then I made all that soft and then mashed it up. And here is the dough. And I have this square this circle. And I have this vareniki maker, which is this little guy right here. And I lay the circle of dough. I cut the circle of dough with this. And then I lay it on top. And then I put my inside here, and then I fold it over, and it helps me squash it into these things. And my mother-in-law, she's Ukrainian, and she can make beautiful vareniki with her fingers it just looks like this work of art, and I cannot do that. I just use the vareniki maker to seal them up. And then I boil them in water for a couple minutes to cook the dough part of it. And here's a bowl of vareniki. And I put some butter on there so they don't get all sticky. And then this is the sour cream. You eat them with sour cream. So that is, I'm sure if you look it up on Google, you'll get tons of recipes if you want to try it. It's a little bit work intensive, but it's an interesting way to experiment with foreign culture foods. Now I just want to share a couple things that God taught me about hospitality that really blessed me. And in the last couple years, I've tried to choose at least one topic that I want to study for 6 months or a year. And I chose hospitality this year because the Lord just put on my heart the desire to express that even more. And we have people come stay with us and missionaries, and I just wanted to think even more about how to serve people through hospitality. And so I found some books. I love books. And I wanted to tell you about these really neat books that I found. This one is called The Christian Homemaker's Handbook, and it has a lot of topics inside it. I'm sure you can look on Amazon and see the chapter headings. And it's just a compilation of chapters written by different women, and it's for Christian women, and it really encouraged me, and I'll read you a little quote from it. One thing they say here is, when they're talking about your house and becoming a homemaker, the emphasis is not on becoming a chef or a seamstress, but rather on the importance of knowing enough about these subjects to manage your household. And like a lot of these things, it's a learned skills, the skills of homemaking and hospitality. We learn them from our parents. They're not instinctive, but so we have to learn them either from example of who we grew up with, or we study them and put them into practice ourselves. She also writes how that it's a demanding job, but there are great fringe benefits. And she says, you keep your attitude right by focusing on the results rather than on the process. Homemaking challenges you to walk the fine line of being able to accommodate others without losing your own identity. And as I'm in my years of small children, and so I really can understand that, how you're serving, and putting so much into other people and still having to remain you as a person. Then I wanted to tell you about these books, Becoming a Woman Who Pleases God. You can see that. And then the same authors, Designing a Lifestyle That Pleases God. And these are used as textbooks. And it's an older woman and a younger woman, and they alternate chapters and topics, and it's very practical. I only got like halfway through all of these books. I needed to stop and let everything I had read just sink in, and I think I'm going to cycle back in a year or two and go back to this topic and read more. But it was just so wonderful, the things that I read. And then this wonderful book my friend gave me, Home Comforts. It's a huge book. It is just an anthology, I don't know, everything you ever wanted to know about anything is in this book. But the one thing, I love reading her philosophy of homemaking toward the beginning, and it helped me because, I like some fly lady things where it's fast, and you just get things done and it's organized. But I like this lady, she just talked about how homemaking can take time. And that really just blessed me because I like going slow sometimes. And then I like knowing how to hurry when I need to just hurry and get something done. So I kind of have to balance those two perspectives sometimes. Then I wanted to read you just one thing from this Becoming a Woman Who Pleases God that I liked. And she talks about this, a Christian woman in this day. They said one insightful thing. At the same time, she is involved in Christian services that complement those of her children rather than neglecting them to perform her ministries. And that is one idea that has helped me during these years when I have small children at home, that I find ministries that don't take me too much away from them. And that has been a very wise guidance for me at this point in my life. And then I wanted to talk to you about just a couple ways that I put this into practice. I decided that I wanted to help people, to feed people who came to our church as visitors. And so I knew that this older couple they were singers and musicians, and they were coming. And so I decided to make a dish that I could take to church, and then it could be ready for us to eat afterwards. And I brought all the disposable items and everything. And after church, I set up the table and got everyone sitting down to eat, and we invited a couple other people that were just waiting around, and they came and talked with us, and we just talked with these people, and it was encouraging. But it was I'm so glad I did that because they were having trouble with their car, and their car couldn't come for a long time, so they wouldn't have had anything to eat. So that was one thing that blessed me, being able to do that. And then another thing that really blessed me was a missionary couple that came and lived with us. They had some children, and they had a child who had enormous allergies. And this woman, she really encouraged me, not so much by what she just said, but by her telling me her life story and how she became involved in Ukraine. She was also in an international marriage, and just the hardness of her life, and yet how many trials the Lord had put on her. And I look at her, and I am just amazed at her faithfulness to the Lord through all of her hardships. And one thing that I read somewhere in one of these books, or I don't even know, just for something like where you have to have, it's good if you have everything ready for guests, like have a little place. And so I started making a little place where I have a set of clean sheets and towels that are just for guests. so that when people will come, I have everything just ready. And I also bought some nuts and chocolate and water bottles. And so that was like a little detail that helped me be able to bless them. And I put it in these pretty gift bags, like Ukrainians love to use gift bags for many things. And so I put in like the rolled up towels and some nuts and chocolates and their water bottles, and I had it waiting in the room when they came, because we don't have great rooms. They're just, we don't have much room at all. But it's wonderful to be able to share it. And the wonderful thing about having children when they're small, is my children, is that they don't mind when you don't have wide spaces. They want to be smooshed up together with you, especially when they sleep. So that's one thing that's a blessing about having this small age of children, is that they don't mind all loading up in the same bed when we have company, and they enjoy that a lot. And so they love having company. And so that's just one thing about hospitality that has blessed me, that the Lord taught me through books and then through my life experiences, to think about. Oh, and this was the biggest thing that I'm still working on, is having a hospitable heart. Not just that I'm okay with people coming over or having groups here, but that my own heart is open to love them and to look out for their interests and to be interested in them and in their interests, and to have my own heart not just focused on my own comfort or the things that I'm doing, my schedule and the things I have to accomplish, but being able to just open my heart and share my own life and look into the lives of others and love them where they are at their time of traveling or whatever they're doing. And so it's just been something that's really blessed me lately. So thank you for listening, and I'll put some links in the comments or in the description if you want to learn more about us. Thank you so much. Bye.